welcome to another video by me, Niki Jackson, and in today's video I'm going to be sharing my painting process with you for this abstract painting. It's a really large canvas, it's 20 by 20 inches, which is pretty big for me, and we're going to be using ocean inspired colours today and lots of mixed media techniques. So I'm just starting to cover the canvas with different blues. I picked out a selection of blues ahead of time, and they're also different consistencies as well. Some of them are craft paints, some are thicker, more heavy body paints from tubes, different brands as well. Some of them are golden, some Liquitex and some Amsterdam. So I'm just kind of putting in some base colours and just seeing what feels right really. And just covering up the whole canvas to start with on the first layer. So now the whole canvas is covered. I'm having a bit of my cup of tea before I continue and thinking about where I want to go next. The weather here has been pretty warm, so it doesn't take long for that layer to dry. So I'm going in with some more blues, some really expressive marks using quite a wide brush to start with. Just filling in areas I feel that need more interest. And just a side note, the kind of stroke that you get if you use different brushes really makes a difference. So I use a few different ones in this painting. Like I said, this one I've started with a wider brush just to get sort of areas covered. I'm starting to go in with a bolder, more turquoisey, thicker paint to get some more expressive marks down. I'm doing some sort of flicking motions as well. I kind of wanted to create the illusion of a big wave and spray of water. So now I'm using the golden zinc white. It's very fluid acrylic and it is very transparent, and I'm using it to flick splats onto the canvas with my wide brush and with a little bit of water as well to help it be a bit more runny. It creates a really fun effect, but it does make quite a lot of mess, so be warned if you try this technique. So now I'm just adding in some white with the rest of what's on my brush into different areas. So now you can see I've swapped to a much finer brush. This is a filbert brush, I believe, and now I've swapped again to a bigger brush and kind of creating swirling motions with, again, the transparent zinc white. And now I'm using a rectangle palette knife to create some really interesting textures. And just using a flicking motion, and you can see it's picking up the grain of the wood from underneath. And really giving a really interesting effect. The more layers that you build up in an abstract painting, the more interest and depth it will have. So here's a bit of a close-up of what the effects look like up close, and this is progress so far. So since that last clip, I have added some silver gilding flakes. I looked everywhere for the clip, and I also added drips, and couldn't find it anywhere, so I don't know where that went. But you can see in my other videos how to use these gilding flakes. They create amazing effects. And I use drips again later in the video, so you can see that too. I kind of felt like it needed some other colour introduced to give it a bit more depth, so I have used a neon pink. It is a acrylic gouache actually, and just gives it a little bit more edge. I'm kind of going for a bit of a graffiti style abstract kind of look, and I've added in some stenciling as well. And now I'm using a charcoal pencil to give more depth and interest, and just using marks that I feel led to make, and kind of smudging it in with my finger to soften it a bit and blend it into the rest of the layers. So now I'm adding in some more stenciling, and it just again creates more layers, more depth of interest. I feel like the circles were a good representation for this painting, giving it a sort of a watery effect. And here we go with the drips again. I've used the same paint, the golden zinc white, with a lot of water, and just dribbled that along the edges and tipped the canvas to help it to run down. I kind of dabbed some of them as well near the end to kind of give a ghostly kind of effect of the drips, which worked really well. And now I'm using some acrylic pen markers to create more little circles and like bubbles and things. And I've also used a 3D gel to do some little dots as well here and there, which again give it more interest. So going in with some more acrylic paint marker pen, and as you can see, they're the dots that I've created previously, and some of the silver gilding. And here's a close-up of what it looks like with all the detail now it's finished. It was a particularly sunny day when I recorded this, so it's a bit of glare of the sun there, but it really shows you all the layers and all the areas of interest. I'm currently working on a series of large paintings and developing my website at the moment, and so these big paintings will be available very soon. So if you want to keep updated, follow me on Instagram. I am Niki Jackson Art, and you'll be notified then of when the paintings are up for sale. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I really appreciate it. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe. You'll be notified every time I upload, as long as you've hit the notification bell. And yeah, so don't forget to leave me your comments, and I will see you again next time. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.